Dayo. Good evening mga ka-on live. Ito muli si Julius Piala or si Sir P. And today's July 30. Patapos na ang July. And it's the 5th episode of On Live Talks, Season 2. Ikwento mo. Ito'y handog sa atin ng BA Communication and Media Arts Program ng University of the Philippines, Mindanao bilang isang academic program improvement project and public service initiative na rin. Tampok ngayong season ng iba't ibang mga kwentong hindi lamang magbibigay dagdag kaalaman sa ating lahat, kundi pati na rin inspirasyon sa atin regardless of our state of life, estudyante, faculty, or administrator, or media practitioner. And tonight is extra special because I'll be joined by two of the highly active volunteers ng On Live Talks. We have an intern ng BA Communication Media Arts Program, si Rona Dea Pacres. And of course, we have volunteer Roxette Arellano. Maayong gabi, Rona and Roxette. Hello.
Hello po, Sir P. Magandang gabi po sa ating mga viewers. Magandang gabi, Roxette. And ayan po, maraming salamat po, Sir P, sa warm welcome niyo po sa amin. I am so happy po to be here hosting with you and a bit nervous po kasi this is my first time hosting online. Pero for sure, tayo po ay mag-enjoy dahil napaka-interesting po ng ating topic ngayon. And here on Online Talks, we share stories that matter and stories that will surely make us become inspired and better. I'm Rona Dea Pacres, streaming live from Pantukan, Davao de Oro. And join us every other Saturday at 6 p.m. via Facebook Live through our official Facebook page, and that's facebook.com/onlivetalks.2022.
Hi Sir P at Ate Rona. Good evening din sa ating mga viewers. I hope kung nasaan man kayo ngayon right now, I hope you're just doing fine, having a great time kasi I am also having a great time right now. And for the first time, this is my very first time na hosting online, and I'm so very thankful for the opportunity given to me by the online talks. And with that, hi everyone, I am Roxette Arellano, and welcome to online talks. We're not only available sa YouTube we're not only available in Facebook dahil nasa YouTube at Twitter na rin tayo. Make sure to follow and subscribe on Live Talks para nakaka-follow kayo sa ating mga daily kwentuhan. Right, Sir P and Ate Rona?
Yes. Ang daming kwento, no? I'm pretty sure you've been following us on Facebook. And if we're talking about contents, andyan na nga yung Abi mo, tampok ang mga napapanahong information, trivia. And of course, we have On Live Talk Spotlight, showcasing stories of various members of the UP community. And of course, kagabi nga, nilaunch na nga ang On Live Talk Spicy Talks Confessions. At marami pang iba, so abangan nyo lang yan. And I'd just like to mention that recently we covered the UP Mindanao graduation, and maraming salamat sa ating volunteers and interns for making the coverage really successful. And speaking of successful, yun na nga, paparating na ang new academic year, and we're hoping for it to be a success also. So, kamusta, Rona and Roxette? How do you feel about the incoming academic year?
We're almost already to set off for another school year ahead. And with that, there are already some of the schools nationwide na nag-announce ng kanilang mode of learning to be conducted sa kanilang mga estudyante. At sa amin sa BACMA, sa UP Min, we were told na, according sa UP na announcement, that there'll be a blended learning para sa amin, no? And I am also hoping na magkaroon kami ng face-to-face, hopefully, kasi for the past 2 years, yun nga, we're just at homes, facing our laptops, we're experiencing remote and distance learning. And for me, na first time na maka-experience ng online setup, I've never been to the university, I've never met any of the teachers or my classmates. So, I'm really hoping na kahit ngayong academic year, punta na ako ng Davao and meet some of my colleagues and friends para na din, I'd finally meet them for the first time.
Ako naman po, Sir P, as an incoming fourth year, hindi ko po alam anong dapat kong maramdaman. Pero dahil paparating na ang academic year na naman ulit, hindi ko pa feel kasi hindi ko pa bakasyon, internship pa namin. Kahit na po hindi mag-face-to-face classes, kami po ay babalik at babalik talaga. Kasi po last year na, ayan po, sir.
Yes. Sana all, ate.
Yes, sana all. But I'd like to support that, no, because there's a good system in place, and I think kung ano man ang preparations ng university, I'm pretty sure makakatulong ito sa ating
Yes po,
lahat.
sir.
Yes.
And to know more about our topic for tonight, let's all watch this.
Hello Mr. Ebot, no? Maraming salamat ho at napaunlakan ho ninyo itong meeting na to, no? Matanong ko lang ho, kamusta na ho ba yung anak ninyo, si Lauren ho?
Magandang araw din sa iyo, sir. Maayos lang naman ng anak ko, sabik na sana siyang pumasok sa eskwela, ngunit sa kasamaang palad, naabutan ng pandemya.
Nako sir, oo nga eh. Pati nga ho kaming mga guro nababahala na kung ano mangyayari kapag tumagal pa tong pandemya. Pero kahit ganun, ginagawa pa rin naman ho namin lahat para matugunan ng mga edukasyonal na pangangailangan ng mga estudyante at mabigyan din sila ng dekalidad na edukasyon.
Salamat, sir. Bilang isang magulang, nababahala rin ako kasi naman busy ako sa trabaho. Di ko masyadong natututukan ng mga bata. Isa pa, pinagsisikapan ko rin na mabigyan sila ng maayos na gadgets o anumang kagamitan na makakatulong sa kanilang online classes.
Nako sir, nakakatuwa naman ho marinig sa inyo na todo suporta ho kayo sa anak ninyo. Kasi alam nyo, hindi lahat ng estudyante sa amin nakakatanggap ng sapat na suporta kagaya ng binibigay ninyo Mr. Ebot sa anak ninyo. Kaya nga ho kaming mga guro patuloy na nagsusumikap para makapaghanda ng modules o hard copies at may padala ito sa mga estudyanteng kapos at hindi kaya makabili ng gadgets para sa online classes nila.
Di bale, kapag ba nakaluwag-luwag konti, magdo-donate ako para makatulong naman sa mga estudyante.
Talaga po, maraming salamat sir. Maraming salamat Mr. Ebot, no?
Walang anuman, sir. Tayong lahat ay apektado ng pandemya, kaya tayo rin na magtutulungan. Hindi madali ang new normal sa atin. Paano na lang sa mga mag-aaral, di ba?
Nako, oo sir, tama nga ho kayo. Kaya maraming salamat ho, no? Malaking tulong ho ito. Alam nyo, kapag meron kayong katanungan, ikaw o kahit si Lauren, kontakin nyo lang ho ako sir, no? Anytime, wala akong problema.
Opo, sir. Walang problema. Salamat!
Papa. Okay, maraming salamat sir.
Ang pagsara ng mga paaralan ay maaari ngang makaapekto sa kalidad na edukasyon. Kaya't ano nga bang inobasyon at pamamaraan ang maaaring gamitin ng mga guro sa learning during new normal? Paano nga ba hahakbang ang mga magulang upang masiguro ang edukasyon ng kanilang mga anak? At paano nga ba hinarap ng mga magulang at guro ang malaking pagbabago sa edukasyon sa new normal? Tara na't samahan ninyo kaming talakayin at bigyang linaw ang lahat ng inyong katanungan dito sa 5th episode ng On Life Talk Season 2. Ngayong gabi, July 29, kasama sina Sir P, Rona Dea Pacres at Roxette Arellano sa isa na namang makabuluhang talakayan na pinamagatang Chalk Talk: How Educators and Parents Navigate in the New Normal. Dahil dito sa On Live Talks, your stories matter. On Live Talks, ikwento mo!
Ayan, kaya't ngayong gabi, tayo'y magkwentuhan with Chalk Talk, how educators and parents navigate in the new normal. At syempre, gusto namin kayong maging bahagi ng ating talakayan. Just simply leave your thoughts and comments in our episode tonight, or you may ask some questions to our guest in the comment section. At mamaya, we'll read your insights and questions so that our guest could respond to them during the second part of the show.
Yes, mapa-question or insights man yan, or baka gusto niyo lang mag-shoutout sa inyong mga ACAD friends, just feel free to leave your messages in the comment section. So, Sir P and Ate Rona, are you guys excited already to have a meaningful and exciteful conversation with our guests tonight?
Yes, super excited, Roxette.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Hindi natin na malalaman na ang ating excitement ay matatranslate into several questions not until i-introduce natin ang ating mga guests. So, wag na nating patagalin pa, no? So, Well, I'm pretty sure we are excited to know them. But before that, magpapaalam muna tayo saglit kay Roxette dahil later on, makakasama natin siya after the break. So, for the first discussion, si Rona muna. So, see you later,
See you
Roxette.
later, guys.
Bye! So, speaking of guests, ito na nga, kilalanin natin ang guests for episode 5. All right, so there you have it. Tonight, we're joined by Sir Jenielito Atillo, the spokesperson ng Department of Education Region 11 at mula sa Philippine Science High School PTA, we have the President, Ma'am Sharon Montebon. Good evening, Sir Jenielito and Ma'am Sharon.
Yes po, good evening po sa inyo.
Mayong gabi sa tanan.
Yes. At maraming salamat for responding to our invitation and for making this episode really possible. Mukhang meron lang technical problems sa side ni Rona. So, huwag na nating patagalin pa. No? Let's proceed with the first question. And this is basically a general question that pertains to how you feel about the incoming academic year. A lot has been said about the preparations and all that. But Sir Jenielito or Ma'am Sharon, ano inyong general na pakiramdam ngayong paparating na academic year?
Ayun
Perhaps
muna ito, Ma'am Sharon.
Yes, Ma'am
Okay.
Sharon. Bilang magulang.
Okay.
Bilang president ng
Sige
PTA.
po. Thank you, sir. Actually, aside from being excited kung ano talaga yung magiging platform ng online, ng learning natin this coming school year, kasi may nagsasabi na mag face-to-face na, meron na ding nagsasabi na baka blended or baka hybrid. So actually, for the part ng mga parents is be ready on it. And whatever it is, kailangan natin maging handa. Kasi hindi natin alam kasi yung situation natin for now. Very uncertain pa rin. But good thing, we are equipped already and we are vaccinated and boosted already. So that's the good thing na kung may blended man, so parang safe na konti yung mga bata. But still, may extra careful pa rin na mangyayari na gagawin ng mga bata and also the parents and also the end ng sa schools. And I think this coming school year, hindi siya masyado mahirap kasi compare doon sa adjustment na ginawa natin nung nag-lockdown talaga na parang totally from the traditional way of learning na napunta talaga tayo sa online na wala tayong preparation. So parang bigla-bigla. And we overcome it. Although, very challenging yung process, but still, dahan-dahan na recover naman po natin. So meron mang mga problemang na-encounter, but still, pag ano natin, anong tawag nito, yung parang, pagdaanan natin, yung parang naging ano tayo, yung na-recover natin siya. So, naging handa tayo sa lahat kung ano man yung mangyari. Yun po.
Yun. Magandang reminder for everyone, no? Na walang tao or pamilya or institusyon na nalulugi if we are all prepared. Sir Dodong, ano po ang inyong pakiramdam for this new academic year?
Yeah, we've been waiting for this really because as far as the Department of Education is concerned, we really wanted to resurrect the implementation of face-to-face learning modality. But of course, we are beholden and subservient doon sa mga pangyayari and the virus, COVID virus, really was a huge problem, no? In the previous 2 school years. But what is good now, the Department of Education, through our new secretary, Vice President Sara Duterte, has issued DepEd Order 034 series of 2022. The message really of this DepEd Order is to restore and resurrect the so-called educational normalcy in the country.
Mm.
That's why we will be implementing full-blown face-to-face come November 2. And all the other learning modalities that we are used for 2 years or more than 2 years will only be up to the last day of October. That's over October 31. Ibig sabihin, when we start classes come August 22, schools in the basic education from kindergarten to senior high are still allowed to employ the alternative learning delivery modes or alternative learning modalities, yung blended, hybrid, radio-based, TV-based instructions, the modular thing, the online thing, hanggang October 31 na lang yan. But come
Mm.
November 2, we will be implementing full-blown face-to-face. So that is the picture ahead. And so happy to hear from Ma'am Sharon that the parents now really are preparing for whatever we will be implementing. And yun po ang i-implement natin starting November 2 hanggang matapos ang school year na ito. But of course, we are also preparing for, say, situations like if ever there is a COVID situation in the school, or God forbid, it affects the teacher or it affects the learner. We are ready for that. Uh, yung ating experience for 2+ years have actually taught us a lot. And maganda ito kasi we started from scratch and then eventually we siphon a lot of learnings based from experience.
Mhm.
Ayan. So maraming salamat po for sharing that, Sir Jenielito. And
Dodong na lang, ma'am. Dodong.
Sir Dodo. Ayan po, coming from a dapat spokesperson, parang ano rin po siya, nagiging assurance po rin po siya para sa mga parents, kagaya po ni Ma'am Sharon na ah, may mga preparations na nagaganap para po sa safety ng ating mga students. And with that, sir, I'd like to ask po, excuse me, ano-ano po ba yung mga paghahanda ng mga paaralan, lalo na ang mga teachers po, para po masiguradong ligtas at makabuluhan ang pag-aaral ngayong pasukan?
I want to press the point that this decision actually is not a product of a situation na parang by a click of a finger or by a wink of an eye, we have decided to resurrect face-to-face, full-blown come November 2. For all of those who are not yet in the know, we started responding to the problems of COVID in the education sector by slowly lifting back the schools to its normal state. If one is abreast with current events, we started everything via pilot implementation of face to face. We selected public schools and private schools in the country. We started off with a less than, I think it's 100+, even less than
Wow.
200 schools, both public and private, na magiging pilot implementers ng ating face to face. And then we strongly implement all the stringent health protocols there, ensuring that every day yung ating mga protocols are strictly followed. Aside from that, we foster yung pagkakaisa, unity, synergy, frequency, same wavelength with all concerned. Kasi this is not only an issue affecting the education department. Parents should really uh, uh, do the role, they do their roles, and they have performed well. Lahat ng mga pilot schools natin, they have performed well ating mga parents, even the community, even the local government units, because we do not confirm an application for pilot implementation without the concurrence and the blessing of the local government unit. They have to say, we approve such application, okay sa amin yan, and then therefore DepEd also approves the application for pilot. So talagang it was really a very meticulous process. That's the first one. Second one po, we matured or we progressed into the implementation of progressive expansion of limited face-to-face. And then it ran for how many months hanggang sa natapos yung school year 2021-2022.
22.
So we
Yes.
are now in the full implementation. So this is actually a gradual process. Hindi po ito automatic na sabi ko nga kanina, and let me reiterate that, a decision made by a click of a finger or by a wink of an eye. No, it's not. Pinag-usapan ito, boiling hot yung debates and discussions involving all concerned, LGU, parent sector, even the community at lahat ng involved really were given the opportunity to provide their ideas, and then before we implement yung gradual phases of returning back to the so-called educational normalcy in the country.
Mhm.
Thank you so
I
much
think
po, sir.
yes, it's clear, no, that it has been prepared, reviewed well. It's progressive, kumbaga. Balik tayo kay Ma'am Sharon. Now that we have heard the clear explanation of the Department of Education, Ma'am Sharon, ano pong kadalasang hinaing ng mga mag-aaral at mga magulang based on your conversations or consultations with them ngayong new normal education?
Actually, yung most common na questions talaga ng parents is yung load of assignments and deadlines in during pandemic. So yun talaga yung unang problema na arise during the online platform was reinforced kasi yung traditional way hindi nga siya pwede. So yung kasi yung mga bata kasi meron silang tendency na yung time management kasi nga parang na-overwhelm sila. Pag nagbibigay ng assignment yung teachers, kasi may deadline, malayo pa yung deadline. So, okay lang, okay muna. And how many teachers do they have? And how many deadlines do they have? So, nagkapatong-patong na. So, pagdating ng deadlines, ayan na, magra-rant na kasi bakit daw ganito, ganyan yung assignments. And then, mostly, yung parents ang magra-rant, which is, yung mga bata naman, super relaxed lang sila kasi alam nila na binigay yung mga assignments and deadlines, malayo pa. Kaso nga lang, kasi nga sa time management, hindi nila muna, kasi nga, unang-una nasa bahay. Relax sila masyado kasi parang nakahiga lang, or parang hindi sila pressure, not like kung nasa school sila na required to do it right away. Kasi meron talagang teacher na kaharap. So yun yung parating problema when the online And then yung isa pa, yung pressure and stress ng parents. Kasi yung home natin dapat kasi yan siya yung parang comfort zone natin from outside activity natin. And then naging into one siya, like sa learning, school, workplace, and living place natin. And dagdag pa doon yung nakikita mo yung anong mali, anong kulang sa bahay kasi nasa bahay ka lang, nasa four corners ka lang ng bahay. So, parang, tapos yung pressure nila, tsaka yung stress nila, nadadala nila kasi nga, yung parang bigla siya. Hindi kasi siya parang na-inform tayo na, ganun, in 2 years, in 2 months, magiging ito yung natin, yung situation natin. Hindi kasi bigla siya. So yun po, kaya yun maraming problema din sa mga pressures and stress ng mga parents. At saka hindi lang parents, pati students siguro, dahil siguro from parents to students, yung bind nila sa bahay and nakikita ng parents yung lapses ng mga bata. And syempre ang parents, especially pag yung matatalino yung mga anak, so mapagsasabihan talaga yung mga bata. So, yun po, yun usually, and yung connectivity of internet. Pero yung connectivity of internet, wala tayong magagawa doon kasi we're just relying yung sa mga service provider. So, wala tayong magagawa doon. So yun po.
Yeah. Before we proceed, thank you for sharing, Ma'am Sharon. Let's ask Sir Dodong. Sir, ano po insights ninyo or response ninyo sa mga hinaing or concerns ng both ng students at saka ng mga magulang?
I really would like to say amen to the statement of Ma'am Sharon. Totoo talaga yun, no? All of those are true and correct. And kami din, we are also parents. Teacher ka na, parent ka pa, so doble yung trabaho. Triple,
Yes.
nag-triple pa at marami. Talagang very difficult. At first, everybody happy, specifically the children kasi they are only at home. And then eventually when the situation really has eaten them up, and even the parents, we come to the point that we are one in saying this is a very difficult situation. Um, Specifically on our side, parents really are not teachers na gaya ng mga teachers na talagang nagtuturo. That is not the job. So it's an additional burden sa kanila na you become an automatic teacher sa anak mo, and then although the teachers they are connecting with you, pero it's really a difficult in a different situation yung teaching learning process if the venue is the classroom. So ito bahay, and then um, uh, medyo yung effort for this ay talagang 100-fold, and then you are also working. Talagang mahirap yan. Totoo yung sinabi ni Ma'am Sharon dyan. And ang dami-daming request nga noon na sana mag face-to-face na ulit. But of course, we cannot succumb to the request kasi cases are high. Ngayon nga lang, okay na tayo. But the alert levels are still on. Pero sabi ng ating regulations ngayon, regardless of the alert level kung saan yung school located, kasi doon sa dati natin alert levels 1 and 2 yun ang pwedeng mag face to face. Ngayon kahit na anong alert level yan, face to face na talaga by November 2. So we are also trying to convey here that we can really respond to the virus if we will just be very, very circumspect about everything. Hindi natin kalimutan, we mustn't forget that the virus is still there. The problem is
Yeah.
still very much present and around, but we really have to educate ourselves every day that we have to protect ourselves, because in so doing, we're protecting also our loved ones and the people around. Kaya nga, yung ating mga teachers, ang instruction diyan talaga sa kanila is if you are not vaccinated, then you will not be allowed to mingle and with the children and be a part of the face-to-face endeavor. They will be delegated to other tasks na wala yung mga bata. But we have also an IATF policy that all of those who are non-vaccinated should secure an RT-PCR negative result twice a month, and show it to the school head or principal so that they can work. If they can secure one, then pwede na silang isali sa face-to-face. Pero we are also actually being faced with, say, issues like religion, problems on health, na may mga comorbidities. Ang yung iba, lumapit nga sa akin, may mga problema sila, medyo malala kasi may cancer. So all of these are taken into consideration. If the doctors are saying they will not submit themselves to vaccination, then we respect that. Uh, they will continue to perform their task, and then it's just a matter of say tweaking yung ating mga pinagagawa doon sa school para din they can still perform their responsibilities. Now the question, requirement ba ang vaccination ng mga bata? For as far as the Department of Education is concerned, we embraced wholeheartedly the that basic ingredient of the Constitution stating that there is always a freedom of choice under a democratic country. And that is what we are conveying. That we do not require as a policy or nor a requirement for, say, enrollment or for the face-to-face classes, vaccination of our children. We give it to the parents, although ang DepEd is encouraging all parents to have their children vaccinated, but the decision should be theirs. But even then, na walang vaccination yan, we will be having the full-blown face-to-face come November 2.
Thank you po, Sir Dodong, for the reminders niyo po at pag-state po ng kailangan po nilang gawin sa kanilang face-to-face classes. Ano naman po yung mga reminders niyo po para sa ating mga mag-aaral given na babalik na po tayo sa yung academic year?
Yeah, not only the learners though, but I'm addressing this actually to our parents kasi they are the ones naman calling the shots doon sa ating mga bahay-bahay. Yung paulit-ulit na reminder natin na yung mga protocols should really be followed and strictly implemented. Pag implement na natin ang full-blown face-to-face, we are conveying that face masks will always be mandatory in the reopening of classes. A face shield, yung face shield natin may be used in lieu of the face mask for activities requiring the entire face of an individual to be visible. So what we're conveying here is that we are trying to persuade all to really ensure yung sinasabing protocols na implementation. Physical distancing will always be implemented. It will always be observed. Yung proper ventilation sa mga classrooms dapat ensured din. Then, pinagbabawal namin yung ang mga students, ang mga teachers, and even non-teaching personnel na kumain sabay-sabay. No? We do not allow that. We don't allow that while they're facing one another. Now, kung may lack of space in the classroom or school premises to allow distancing during meals, eating shall be done in a manner where all individuals face in one direction. Hindi pwedeng magkaharap. So in one direction lang tayo, and do not talk. Do not talk while eating, baka mabulunan kayo. and ensure that while eating you don't have your mask on. Paano ka magkain yan? Then, yung ating schools are directed to coordinate. Ito, both public and private ito coordinate with the Department of Health for counseling on the benefits of COVID-19 vaccination of the family of an unvaccinated learner. And schools shall seek the support of a partner with mental health associations or psychiatry society. If ever there is a learner who will exhibit yung ating COVID-19 symptoms, then immediately i-excuse siya from the face-to-face modality, and ilagay natin doon sa mga naka-ready na mga areas in the school kasi requirement pa rin yan na you have to have an area for those who are exhibiting symptoms or those who are with really confirmed affliction of COVID. So, ang lahat ng ito ay talagang i-implement, and we will be inspecting schools, both public and private, and even yung state-run schools at mga local universities and colleges na may basic education offerings, no. So ibig sabihin, halimbawa if they have if they have senior high school offerings or baka my kindergarten, elementary or junior yan, we will be inspecting them, monitoring them for their compliance with this policy of the Department of Education. Kasi even if they are state-run schools or universities or colleges or local universities or colleges, but if they are implementing basic education programs, DepEd still can have a look-see of everything there, specifically yung implementation ng ating health protocols.
Mhm. Napakalinaw, ano? And it seems that all everything is all set. Now, Ma'am Sharon, sa tingin mo, ano po ang mga pamamaraan ng mga PTAs or mga certain sectors, other sectors in different schools na ma-ensure na magkakaroon ng makabuluhang pag-aaral ngayong pasukan? Like from your end, perhaps as PTA president, anong mga pwedeng gawin pa po?
Tulungan and coordination between parents and schools administration. And because we parents, we will do our part, whether it is face-to-face, blended, or maybe online. Basta may coordination tayo sa school ng mga anak natin. So, and of course, we should always follow protocols and if there are changes along the way, kasi nga sabi ko kanina very uncertain pa yung kasi sabi ni Sir Dodong yung COVID andyan pa rin, hindi talaga siya nawawala and patuloy pa rin siya na andyan. So let's just be focused and be optimistic and whatever it is, yung especially parents kasi pag may mga changes magra-rant agad. So sana hindi po sana hindi po, marunong po tayo makinig and din po tayo makibalita kung ano talaga po yung dapat. Yun po.
Yes. So, thank you, Sir Dodong and Ma'am Sharon and Rona. And we'll just pause for a quick break. And when we return, we'll accommodate questions from Facebook and, of course, some questions from the UP Min community. All that and more only here on Live Talks. Ikwento mo.
How do you feel about the first after graduation here in UP Mindanao after 2 years?
I'm actually very happy na we are able to experience the graduation ceremony na face-to-face talaga because I think we all deserve it, no? After how many years of our study here in UP, and I think we really deserve this face-to-face graduation and recognition.
I feel excited. Excited and of course nervous, pero ayun nga, fulfilling. Yeah, fulfilling. Speechless, and number 2, more than blissful.
Ma'am, how do you feel about your child graduating today?
I'm so relieved because it's all over. It's over now. Tapos medyo syempre maka-move on now on the next plan sa life niya.
Well, I'm very proud and happy for my son.
After all the preparations and hard work, we are looking forward to a successful event and a memorable one for all our graduates and of course our parents. So this is for them, so let us give them a happy and memorable occasion for this year.
Well, I'm very happy to be here to see the students finally, and it's nice to gather as a community. That's something we have not experienced for the past 2 years. So hopefully we can feel more each other's presence, and from there hopefully this will lead towards better relationships.
Well, I'm excited. This is our first face-to-face graduation ceremony since the last 3 years. Yeah, so I'm sure everyone is looking forward to be here and to see everyone in person.
Edi congratulations. Tignan nyo, ito yung una nating face-to-face graduation ng university after 2019. So, taon na. So congratulations sa inyong lahat and be resilient.
I'm really happy for you guys because I know you've been through a lot for the past years, but you've made it. So I am very proud of you, and I hope that when you leave the university, you will find your way in society.
Yes, good evening to all our viewers. And we're back here on the fifth episode of Online Talks Season 2, Ikwento Mo. And tonight we've been talking about Chalk Talk, how teachers and parents navigate in the new normal. This is Roxette.
And this is Sir P.
And we're still with our guests who belong to the ever-changing education sector in the country. We're still with DepEd spokesperson Jenielito S. Atillo and a PTA president from Philsci High School, Ma'am Sharon Rose Montebon. This time for second discussion segment, we'll ask our guests some questions from the community through pre-recorded videos. Any of you may start sharing your thoughts or insights depending on the question. And now for our first question, Sir P.
Ayan. Ito, isang question na addressed to Sir Dodong, ano? This has something to do with the teachers, I guess. It's meron tayong question from Facebook. Ayan. From Rafi Evergreen. Good evening, Sir Jenielito. Is the retrofitting of classrooms under the MOOE budget, or is there another budget allocated para dito?
Yes, MOOE means maintenance and other operating expenses. It's one source, say, for minor repairs. Kasi we have budget allocations for major repairs and for, say, construction of buildings. Talagang naka-separate yan sa budget ng department. And if minor, then therefore we can utilize other sources naman. And maganda itong question na ito kasi isegue ko ito sa mangyayari sa in the days to come, no? Kasi yung darating na mga araw natin, ang ating brigada eskwela will also go back to the physical, literal brigada eskwela. For 2 years kasi, Sir P, no? Virtual lang yung brigada eskwela natin.
Correct.
Now ngayon, alam naman natin kung paano ginagawa yung brigada eskwela, that everyone troops to the school and then they give their own they gave their talent, their time, just to prepare the school for their children. It's actually sending a message that here's your mother and your father and your loved ones, your lolo and your lola and your uncle and aunties, coming over to the school, preparing your school for you, para we will really communicate that yung education is very serious matter and it involves the entire family. It involves the entire village. So, Brigada Eskwela nato is on August 1 to 26. That will be the time also that we will prepare all these facilities sa ating mga schools para sa mga bata come August 22 na opening of classes. But we also would like to convey the very strong partnership that we have with other public and private sector. So itong mga sinasabing, say, retrofitting of classrooms, may not even utilize the budget for MOOE. They can also utilize other budget for as long as properly accounted yung say pera at everybody knows saan napunta. Kasi yan ang always problem, kahit isang kusing, major problem pag hindi na-explain. Ano? So that is where our school administration, yung sinabi nga ni Ma'am Sharon kanina, dapat talagang yung coordination, unity, hindi dapat na kanya-kanya dyan sa school. Because the parents, sa tagal ko na sa education sector, parents talaga are really very important and sacred force para sa pagtakbo ng isang school. Kasi always nalilimutan natin na ang school ay school ng lahat. Hindi lang school yan ng may-ari or school ng mga teachers or school ng iilan. But lahat and then ang nucleus ng ano na yan, ng factor na yan ay ang mga bata. So everybody should really talk, discuss matters for the children. So, maganda yung sinabi ni Ma'am Sharon kanina, and then hoping also that we have the same, say, directions doon sa mga ibang PTA organizations natin.
All right, here we have our first video question coming from Miss Gabriel Baang, and this is intended for Sir Dodong po. Miss Gabriel Baang is a UP-MIN BA Communication Arts alumna and a senior high school faculty of Mapua Malayan College, Mindanao. Let's watch this video.
Since face-to-face classes will resume for this academic year, what safeguards will be implemented in case a breakout will occur in your school?
Thank you very much for the question. I have already responded to that, even if the question was not asked. Kanina, if you can vividly remember, we're saying that we are strictly implementing all the stringent health protocols imposed by the IATF. Yung face mask natin, andyan pa rin. Physical distancing, andyan pa rin. Yung paggamit ng alcohol and the other sanitation liquid para sa mga bata. Yung continuous communication with parents para sa and the school para sa pag-ensure, pagbigay ng safeguard dyan for both parents and for parents, teachers, and learners and the school community. And if ever there is, I said, God forbid, a situation, may mga nagpapakita ng mga sintomas, immediately the parents should inform the school so that we can do something about it, call for professional help. If ever there is already an affliction inside the school, yung policy na i-separate and then ask for immediate medical help will always be there. Actually, all of this, my friends, are being employed during the 2-year or more period na masyadong mataas yung cases ng COVID natin. We are just implementing or re-implementing this or reviewing this from time to time in preparation. Pangit sabihin, in preparation if ever may problema talaga na lalabas. Kasi tinitingnan natin ang possibility of occurrence. Mahirap nang doon na tayo mag-prepare pag nandun na yung problema. That is not appropriate.
Okay, thank you for that, sir. No. Okay, another question is coming from the same person as well, and this time this would be intended to be answered by Ma'am Sharon Montebon. Please watch this video.
Learning gap is evident among the students. With this, what projects or plans, especially concerning the problems with reading comprehension, will DepEd and Region 11 propose and actualize aside from the strict implementation of face-to-face classes?
Okay, sorry. From the PTA end po, regarding those matters, parang, kasi yung PTA, projects ginagawa namin like giving, parang parental talks, and especially yung pandemics, meron kaming mga mental health talks for both parents and students. Yun po yung mga projects ng PTA na ginagawa po namin. Yun po. And regarding doon sa mga learning kasi sa school na yun kasi high school itong ano namin. So wala po kaming parang wala kaming regarding sa learning process ng mga bata. Kasi sa school po yun. And parang wala kaming regarding sa learning process ng mga bata.
Okay po. Thank you for that, Ma'am. No.
Yan po.
Okay, thank you for that, Ma'am. No. So, I guess Sir P is having trouble on his end sa iyang technicalities. So, I guess let's just proceed with the second FB Live question. Okay. Here's a question coming from Rafi Evergreen, and this is intended for Ma'am Sharon again. Ma'am Sharon, is there a need for students to be required a PhilHealth insurance?
Oh, okay, magandang tanong po. Actually, sa Philippine Science, kasi hindi pa ito parang young adult pa ito So they are not allowed pa to get an PhilHealth insurance. But I will speak for my son kasi my son is a incoming graduating students of UP Manila. I heard from him na they are required daw to get a PhilHealth insurance. Pero parang I don't know if true pa talaga 'yon kasi hindi pa ako nagbabayad. Pero I think siya kasi the insurance is applicable for college students, I think. Parang hindi siya applicable for the high school.
Yes, Ma'am. No. Thank you for that answer po. Okay. For the second recorded video this came from Ma'am Krishna Balaga, a UP Main IT officer po, and this is intended again to Ma'am Sharon because Ma'am Krishna is a parent po. So let's all watch this video po.
Hello, good evening. I'm Krishna. I'm a mother of 3. 2 of my kids are in grade 1 and grade 2, and the other is in the special education program. So when the kids went back to the face-to-face sessions by the end of the recent school year, I noticed the mix of emotions that they felt with the new setup. As much as we had difficulty adjusting to the online and distance learning setup at the start of the pandemic, as a parent, I am also anticipating another adjustments that the kids would experience in the coming face-to-face school setup this year. So my question is, aside from the health and safety protocols established in schools in preparation for the face-to-face learning modality, kasi of course, we've been training ourselves in the past 2 years to combat COVID in our homes and our schools. We can already remind our children what to do and what not to do in public spaces. So how do we prepare for the psychological and psychosocial support that the kids and even the teachers would need in this new setup? This, of course, includes preventing bullying, discrimination, and other forms of harassment in schools. In short, how do we secure that the schools that the kids will go back to are still the same safe spaces that they know in the new normal? Thank you so much.
Ayan, and
Okay.
we're back. I'm back. So, yun po ang katanungan from Ma'am Krishna Balaga, isang parent din at alumni ng UP Min. So, ano po ang kasagutan natin dyan?
Actually naman during the yung from the traditional way of learning going to online, yung shifting to online, mahirap talaga siya kasi parang biglaan. But I think this time around, parang hindi na siya ganun kahirap kasi this is where I used to, nasa school talaga tayo. Yun nga lang, extra careful, extra yung sa mga protocols, follow protocols. And regarding doon sa bullying, it's another issue kasi yun siya. So the school must be parang i-consider din nila yun sa bullying na issue. Kasi for the past years, online or andun talaga yung bullying Before pa yan, problema na talaga yan. So yung school po ang may program po niyan, how they stop for the bullying. Yun po.
Right, Sir Julius,
Excuse
ano po mga
I
interventions natin for that?
Oh,
Roxette,
yes.
may I add to
Parang,
that?
yes.
Tama yung sinabi ni Ma'am Rose kasi major dyan, hindi lang kasi PTA ang dapat na pagtuunan ng say pansin para for the responsibility of that, no. This is the responsibility of all. And it must emanate from the home. Yung protection sa bata, yung ating how do we prepare them for the going back to the traditional normal. I call that traditional normal, not the old normal, but the traditional normal. They underwent a lot of experiences during the COVID period, plus the fact that they are now going back to the traditional normal. And then yung bullying, and then marami, kahit na walang COVID, nandiyan naman yung bullying na yan, no? And I just would like to respond to that everybody should be involved talaga uh, in capital letters with literal involvement. Kasi all starts from the home, di ba? Charity begins at home. And then how do we raise the kids up? Yung mga upbringing, yung mga how would they respond and move with the presence of other people? They have to be molded well in the home. Once they go out in the community, dala-dala nila yung knowledge nila from the home to the community and mingle there with everybody. And once they are in the community, kasi ang community is composed of negatives and positives eh. So kung ano yung turo, upbringing sa bahay, dala-dala ng bata yan. What if we have a very solid upbringing, solid, very positive the solid. So kahit ano pang yung mga negatives doon sa community, hindi talaga makaka-penetrate yan kasi ang nagiging shield, ang nagiging escotyon dyan, yung turo sa bahay. Pagkatapos sa turo sa bahay, and then sa community, papasok siya ngayon doon sa school. It's another dimension na naman, no? It's another venue para sa kanya na dapat magmingle siya. So all of these things are being laid in front of the child. So how do we prepare them? We prepare them from the home, and then yung sa community nga. Once they will be eaten up by the community dung sa mga negativities doon. If ever mahina yung upbringing turo sa bahay, diyan as always gusto kong emphasize eh. Kasi sabi ko nga, hindi lahat trabaho ito ng school, hindi lahat trabaho ito ng PTA, hindi rin lahat trabaho ng parents. Everybody should really unite and then put their acts together to save the child, to save one soul, to save one kid. And then may mga bully kasi balikan natin yung bahay. 'Di ba? Ano nangyari doon sa bahay? And then to respond to that, it's not actually the responsibility of the PTA to seek support for mental health. It's the responsibility of the school. Kaya nga sabi namin dito sa DepEd Order 34 series of 2022, item number 53, schools shall seek the support of and partner with mental health associations or psychiatry societies in the respective areas to assist in ensuring the mental wellness of students, teachers, non-teaching personnel during the transition period or during the full implementation of the face-to-face. So, ganyan yan. Walang isang grupong nagmamay-ari dyan. Tayong lahat talaga ang should really put our acts together for the child. And aside from that, schools are under obligation to submit to the Department of Education their child protection policy. Meron kaming
Mm.
requirement sa lahat, both public and private, na dapat you have to have your child protection policy. How do you protect them? Yung bullying, hindi na included dyan sa child protection policy. Talagang tinanggal. Before, kasama yan, dyan. But tinanggal dahil sa major problem na siya all over the world, even here in the Philippines. So tinanggal, may law na ginawa para dyan. That's Republic Act 10627, the Anti-Bullying Act. So talagang protected yung bata if we are just aware of the laws that we have in the country. Yun po.
All right. Hello po, Sir Dodong. I have another follow-up question po. With regards doon sa question ng discrimination po, it was mentioned earlier po na not all students mandatory po na mag-take ng vaccine but very well encouraged po na mag-take po, di ba? So for example po, if they're already immersed in a blended learning or a face-to-face setup po, there might be instances na mag-discriminate po yung isang student na hindi po naka-vaccine na compare po doon sa isang student na vaccinated po. Like, there would be discrimination that would happen inside the classroom po. So, ano po yung like intervention na magawa ng isang teacher po during that time po na if discrimination would happen sa classroom?
Roxette, I can see in the not too distant future that you will make a good media person. Masabi ko dyan is ano, that must not happen because as you say, this is discrimination.
Yes.
It must not happen kasi kami nga sabi namin we do not impose yung regulation of vaccination para sa mga bata at kahit sa mga teachers natin kasi we are still in a democracy and there is freedom of choice in this country and that must be respected. But up to this very moment, hindi pa naman ginamit ng ating state yung police power niya with respect to that. But kasi they are also a respecter of laws. And we're talking here of the basic ingredient, one basic ingredient of the Constitution of the Republic. That's freedom of choice. So ganyan yan. Pag may nangyaring ganyan, then therefore, sino man ang nasa likod ng discrimination na yan should respond to the full extent of the law. Remember, this is a child that you are discriminating, hindi adult ito. In this country, there is sacred protection for two groups, children and women. Walang laws for men. Di ba? Violence against women and their children. Walang sinasabing violence against men and their children. Joke lang yan. Joke lang yan na may konting hugot. But Roxette, I said you will from your question I can sense that in the not too distant future you will make a very good news personality. Maybe you will become one of those tinitingala natin ng mga media practitioners in the future.
Thank you so much, Sir Dodong. Thank you so much po for that reminder as well po sa lahat no na we should not really avoid that kind of action po kasi yeah, we have that kind of fairness and equality dapat po talaga ipapairal with each other. Thank you for that, sir.
All right. And let's continue with another Facebook live question. Ayan. And this is from Ma'am Karen Joyce Kayamanda. She's the University Registrar of UP Mindanao. Good evening, everyone. How would you consider COVID-19 vaccination as a safeguard measure for the F2F classes? Baka meron pong gustong maidagdag si Sir Dodong ng mga a few more details regarding vaccination. Sir Dodong?
Well, alam naman natin, government is really espousing vaccination, and that is also the position of the department. But I have elaborated already and even crystallized our position, our points of view with respect to vaccination. We still consider it as a very important factor that everybody should undergo. But again, as we say, we respect also their rights to choose.
Okay. Thank you so much for that answer and for that question, Ma'am Karen. Roxette, let's proceed with another video question.
Um, our third video question is coming from Rick Manzano, an incoming third-year BACMA student of UP Mindanao. Let's all watch this video.
Magandang araw, ito po ang aking mga katanungan. Dahil may naitala na po tayong kaso ng monkeypox dito sa Pilipinas, maituturing na ba natin itong isang banta sa magiging mode of learning sa darating na pasukan? Kung oo, ano po yung mga posibleng adjustments na mangyayari? Kung hindi naman, paano po masisiguro na hindi ito isang banta sa sektor ng edukasyon?
Yan, talagang napapanahon na question, no? So, Sir Dodong or Ma'am Sharon?
Kahit na anong ano pa yan, no? Kahit na anong public health problem is always a major concern. Hindi lang sa education sector, but all of us. Lahat ng sectors ng society. What I can really say is that government is doing its best. Really trying to ensure protection ng kanyang population, ng kanyang constituents. We can see that during the time of former President Rodrigo Duterte, and his government really was responding to everything negative about COVID-19. And ang kagandahan lang din, ewan ko masabing kagandahan, dahil nga sa experience natin sa COVID, at na-ready na tayo. Even yung ating response, no? Na-ready na tayo. Alam na natin yung gagawin as Filipinos, that we mustn't, kasi nung sa COVID talagang everybody na-shock. Kahit kami sa education sector, na-shock. Parents na-shock. Lahat na-shock. And then slowly but surely government was performing the appropriate things to do. So yun ang maganda doon kasi yung ang time ni President Rodrigo Duterte was na-establish talaga yung mga safeguards, yung dapat na mga gawin. And here comes monkeypox. Then that would I'm no health person and I'm not a part of the current government now doon sa cabinet nila, but I'm sure that we can survive this again. Kasi meron na nga tayong mga nalatag na mga solutions and how do we respond to all of these things. Hindi na maging mahirap. Kahit yung reaction natin, hindi na mahirap para sa atin. Alam na natin ang gagawin.
All right, it's very reassuring, Sir Dodong, to hear that we are very much prepared and all the necessary protocols are in place. And sadly, we don't have much time. I'd like to invite once again Rona to join us in this discussion as we are about to close this show. So, yun na nga, no? It seems that we have to move forward and proceed with all our preparations time for the new academic year. Right, Rona?
Yes po, Sir P. Thank you so much po sa ating mga guests and sa ating mga viewers for the questions. Talagang napaka-substantial po ng ating discussion ngayon. And there you have it. Thanks to our guests again, Sir Dodong and Ma'am Sharon Montebon, for making this education in the new normal episode on Online Talks truly worthwhile. Kami po nila Roxette and Sir P at kasama po ng lahat ng miyembrong bumubuo ng Online Talks at maging sa UP Mindanao ay taus-pusong nagpapasalamat po. Thank you so much po once again sa inyong oras na inilaan upang makapagbahagi ng inyong karanasan at kaalaman sa ating mga viewers, lalo na ngayong magbubukas na nga talaga ang mga paaralan para sa isa na namang bagong taong akademiko.
Yes, we're very thankful for you, Sir Dodong and Ma'am Sharon Montebon, for sharing your time with us tonight on imparting to us very insightful and meaningful informations to our dear viewers as well. That would be very helpful for us and to everyone in preparation for the upcoming school year ahead. And at this part of our program, we would like to ask you, Sir Dodong and Ma'am Sharon, for your final message to our viewers, either a reminder or advice that you'd like everyone to be mindful about.
I yield again to the beautiful woman, si Ma'am Sharon muna.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for having me here, for inviting me, and thank you so much also, Sir Dudong. I thank you for your parang marami akong natutunan sa inyo ngayong gabi. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And to my fellow parents, we overcome the challenges during the start of new normal, and I think this incoming school year, kaya pa rin natin to. And the face-to-face that we are praying for is about to happen. Sana nga lang wala nang changes sa sa government guidelines natin. So kahit ano pa yan, patuloy ang buhay. Still, kahit anong banta sa health natin, still education must be in place. And still our kids must be at school, whatever platform it is. Kasi it is our responsibility to guide and give the best for our children. Thank you and maayong gabi again.
Alright. Daghang salamat,
Okay.
Ma'am Sharon, Sir Dodong.
So ako na, education really is the last bastion of hope. Ibig sabihin, kahit na anong meron dyan sa society at andyan pang education, there is still hope. We experienced that during the Pablo Typhoon in 2004 ba yun? That although those areas that were hit literally were reduced to the ground, but the schools still are standing up. So there is still hope, sabi nga ni Secretary Luistro at the time. Now ngayon sa COVID, sabi ni Secretary Briones, we have to move forward and we have to ensure that education will continue because, kaya nga lang sabi ko, it's still the last bastion of hope. So whatever will really come, we have to weather the weather, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. Thank you, UP, for giving us the opportunity. It's an honor from the Department of Education to be invited here. My Regional Director, Dr. Alan Farlazo, and my Assistant Regional Director, Dr. Maria Enas Asuncion, will be very, very happy if I will convey to them that I am one of your guests tonight. Ma'am Sharon, thank you so much, Ma'am. It's an honor to be sitting beside you virtually in this wonderful program. Roxette, Rona, Sir P, and my very good friend, Mark Perando, salamat kayo sa oportunidad na gihatag ninyo sa amo.
Yes. Nindot na opportunity, Sir Dodong and Ma'am Sharon. No? We have perspective from the parents and of course we have from the Department of Education. So once again, daghang salamat and padayon kitang tanan. No? And have a great weekend, Sir Dodong and Ma'am Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Ayun. So now that we've heard the challenges, some insights, both from the perspectives of the parents and of course the preparations done by the Department of Education. Kamusta, Rona and Roxette?
Ako po, Sir Pino, gusto ko po talagang sabihin kanina na sana all talaga. Kasi talagang napaka-detailed po ng sinabi ni Sir Dodong kanina. So, baka naman sa dyan, di ba? Baka mag-release na rin ng,
Yes.
ng announcement. Ayan, so talagang isang napaka-interesting na discussion po. Kasi kadalasan po nating naririnig lamang ay yung point of view ng mga mag-aaral, ng mga mag-aaral. So this time, iba naman pong angulo. So we are thankful po na napaunlakan po tayo ng ating
Alright.
guests.
Medyo nawala lang sa
Ayan, parang may mga difficulty si Sir P.
Yes, okay. For my ano no, at my end, I'm also very happy na I'm here right now in this kind of interview with two very important people na need nating ma-interview talaga ngayong gabi, which is Sir Dodong and Ma'am Sharon. And from the words na sinasabi kanina ni Ma'am Sharon, ang dami ko doon talaga nare-relate sa akin as a student, given that the time management isa talaga sa problema ng ibang estudyante, na o-overwhelm sila, and they tend na mag-procrastinate, and then at the end, they'll just cram all their works kasi nga palapit na yung deadline, and that they'll just have to run and run and run kasi nasa-stress na nga sila. And I'm so happy that Sir Dodong really laid down detailed plans for the upcoming school year, no? And sana all talaga para sa mga basic education learners na mag-face-to-face this coming November. And I hope sa ating program din, no, sa BACMA, we'll be receiving good news din para sa ating academic year this time.
Yes, Roxette, I agree. I agree doon sa sinabi mo na talagang may downside naman talaga yung online classes. But yun nga sa sinabi kanina, yung key takeaway ko talaga for this episode ay yung sinabi ni Sir Dong kanina na this is the responsibility of all. So, dahil may action na ginawa yung DepEd para sa kahilingan ng lahat na magbalik eskwela. So, this is the responsibility of all. Hindi lamang po ng ating mga teachers kasi kadalasan yung mga runs ay puro lamang sa mga teachers, ganun. So, it's the responsibility also of the students and the parents. So, doon talaga nagsa-start sa bahay, yung pagiging responsible natin, especially this pandemic. We really have to be cautious, really have to be careful kasi we are still on the battle sa pandemic. Ikaw naman, Roxette, ano naman yung takeaway mo?
We have the same takeaway, Ate Rona, no, na everyone must have a full cooperation on this matter talaga, na hindi lang sa DepEd lang nakasalalay, lahat. Parents and students as well, no, should have a cooperation and responsibility with this. One of my takeaway din kasi personally as a student, then living far away from Davao, I'm not from Davao City. One of my concerns din is yung finances, na nung una nag-shift tayo from traditional normal according kay Sir Dodong, and then we shifted to online classes. Hindi lahat privilege na magkaroon ng sariling gadget, sariling internet connection para makapag-aral despite the situation. So it's very hard for some students. And ngayon, we are very thankful kasi magfe-face-to-face na. Yun kasi ang palaging, what you call that, hangarin ng lahat talaga na magka-face-to-face na. However, this time, problema pa rin ang finances kasi nga tumataas yung mga bilihin natin. The presyo ng langis kasi it was affected by the war in Ukraine and Russia, and then lahat ng mostly commodities natin, basic commodities natin, tumataas ang presyo. Even the pamasahe, di ba, tumataas rin ang presyo. So as a student na hindi taga Davao City, I am so very concerned actually of my basic needs if nasa Davao na ako. What will I be needing sa aking pag-aaral and living alone and far from my parents? So, grabing paghahanda talaga, grabing preparation para ma-set ko yung sarili ko if ever I'll be staying already in Davao City for a face-to-face setup. Yes, Sir P is back.
Yes, I'm back. And from my end, as a parent, no, finally, Pio, ay i-enroll na namin siya sa kinder sa Davao City Special School. And from my end, I'd like to take, kasi nakikita namin yung preparations ng mga teachers ng schools. So I'd like to take this chance to congratulate and salute all the teachers. All of you are pandemic heroes. And we are so proud of what you've done for the education sector in our country. And sa mga magulang, maraming salamat po for keeping the flame alive, lalo na sa inyong mga anak. And patuloy pa rin tayo sa ating layunin na maging mabuti ang education system sa ating bansa. So, cooperation is needed. So, huwag na natin patagalin pa, no? I'd like to say thank you mula sa bumubuo ng produksyon ng On Live Talks once again sa ating guests. Of course, sa lahat ng mga volunteers and interns na naging bahagi sa pag-produce ng mga contents. Rona, Roxette, thank you for co-hosting with me. And
Thank you, sir.
sa ngalan ni Professor Ina, and of course, Professor Karen Joyce, maraming salamat po. This has been Sir P. Amping Kanunay.
Alright, and this has been Rona Dea Pacres saying that amidst the pandemic, may we find the courage and patience to overcome all the setbacks we have along the way. Thank you so much po for watching at manatiling nakatutok dito lamang sa Online Talks para sa iba pa naming handog na impormasyon at contents.
Maraming salamat. This has been Roxette. Abangan ang next On Live Spotlight, Spicy Talks Confessions, and more Abby Nemo Reels. Ito ang On Live Talks. Ikwento mo.
Ikwento mo.
Maraming salamat. Good night.